So our first segment of the show is actually called The Pulse. And in this segment, we go over some of the various news things that are going on. We kind of intertwine them into our conversation. And given the fact that we have a guest today that's all about disruption and the change in the food industry and how you think about it, and I don't know if you guys have been following us over the last month, but we've had everything from the business owner who started the truck and the actual brick and mortar restaurant to a couple people that are producing food products. One who says, I'll go wholesale. The other says, I want specialty retail. Leading up today to someone who's completely off the grid in traditional methods. And she's like, I'm going a whole different way. I'm going to teach you to think about food in a manner that you've never did before, which is great. So it all fits into our model of stuff. And one of the things I thought to mention is there's actually a whole trend of like restaurants going now where like it was used to be that, Mickey D's was the drive-thru, right? Drive-thru, get some fast whatever Mickey D's is serving, right? Versus to where nowadays you got all these like fast casuals and then even more like the whole thing's growing, And for me, I was excited to see Blaze Pizza actually in some of the topics of the stuff we were looking over this week. And because we have a Mod Pizza next door. And if you guys have ever been to Mod, it's like Blaze's West Coast cousin who's smaller and didn't know that Blaze is huge. And they came out in Michigan like, brah! And Blaze is like, too late. I'm already here. You suck. But both fantastic.
Mods is the closest here. They're the bomb.
Well, I get it, but it's the same as Blaze. They're the same model.
Well, it's kind of like your model though. It's like put whatever you want on your pizza and
sure
to your way. But like
right.
you were talking about Mongolian barbecue and how you just love that.
I do.
He gets to do whatever he wants. And how does that fit with what you do? Is just it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you have the free reigns. You don't have to go to a place where they have all the ingredients. You choose the ingredients based on what you like, and the only thing you really have to do is make sure that those are around. And you have the free reigns because my program, it teaches people the tools that they actually need to create these meals. And they're really easy tools. Like making food is not that hard. You maybe had some heat, some oil, some seasoning, boom, like that's it. Put it on heat for maybe 15 minutes and it's done.
Right. Yeah, don't cook to mush.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? You're not serving grandma. Well, maybe if you are serving grandma, cook her portion to mush.
Sure.
But everyone else needs to choose some food, right?
Right.
Yeah, right on.
And it's I think that's really cool because there's obviously these fast foods go back and forth, but I saw that McDonald's value menu was doing really well because people are able to say, all right, 2 for $2, whatever, I can get 2 cheeseburgers. It's really easy. It's on the way home from work. It's cheap. Because they think that eating that way is not cheap and it's hard, and you're showing them that those are wrong.
Well, it's just not good for you. It's the white.
Well, yeah.
But there was
Right, but the McDonald's had a real problem when they changed their dollar menu. And they recovered, I guess, recently with the Pick 2 and some other things that they changed. But
they Panera'd their menu.
But
here's a list of things. I'm sorry, well, not to say the Panera's available to McDonald's, but that's what they did. They pick a couple things, pick whatever, and piece it together.
But McDonald's, is it really that bad for you, McDonald's? I mean, you can make good choices
Whoa,
at McDonald's.
Ellen's eyes turned.
No, I know.
I think she's like, she's grabbed the tripod.
I'm asking, but they're changing too.
They are.
They're dropping stores. I guess that's what we just looked at. And
it's a good question.
Making changes, but
I think it depends on how you define a good choice. So a good choice may be only for your body, but is it a good choice for the environment, for the people in the community? I feel like those are things that modern day consumers are a lot more focused on. So maybe not really thinking about, is this, it tastes good or it's bad for me, but thinking about, is this product that I'm purchasing, is it sustainable for the environment? Are there practices in line with my practices? And I feel like that's...
I mean, going back to how they harvest the chicken, or is that what you...
Yeah.
Well, if you go there, we won't ever eat at McDonald's.
But that's a big focus of modern day consumers, or at least the
millennials
younger generation. Yeah, that's
definitely.
what their focus is, and that's what they want.
Well, and I think even those guys that they did those shows where they went back and they're like, I'm going to eat whatever for 30 days, and there was the one guy that lied and actually got exposed, the one that was the most famous, because a bunch of other people did it and they actually did fine and their triglycerides didn't change, and but the reality is, what's the impact around, am I truly getting all the nutrition I can for what I'm eating, and that kind of stuff. And those are questions I agree. I think that's anybody, not just millennials, least people my age are asking the same question.
And also, I think it really takes away from a really important part of food, of the cultural and emotional aspect of food. When we just drive through places and we eat alone in our cars, like we're not really.
I agree with that.
We're not really eating. We're just putting things in our bodies.
Yeah.
I feel like
Exactly
eating is
right.
really when we're engaging with the people around us, with maybe even knowing your farm. If you go to a farmer's market, you know where your
Sure.
food is grown. Like there's so much more to food and the way we eat that like old practices really don't reflect.
Well, I think old practices reflect.
Okay, older,
It's the-
but-
Right. No, it's
The-
it's in
Recent.
between where we
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
eat
The modern day
mindless
process,
eat.
right?
You know, is
Yeah.
really. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm part of that. But you know what? It made me think of that story you were telling me about
The vertical farms.
the vertical farms.
That's right.
But in the ocean, the
In
farming.
the ocean farming, yep.
Yeah, the scallops and
Yep, the 3D
mussels.
So one of the things
Pretty
this
amazing.
week, just for those of you that don't know, I'm a nerd, and I'm okay with that. Like, okay, thanks, Ellen. I'm okay with it. But I'm a nerd that knows the importance of a bow tie, so ha. And that being said, one of the series of the articles that came through my stream of stuff I read every day was talking about these new hydroponic farms that they're putting out there. And one of them is they do where they grow scallops, oysters, clams, and kelp in between. The kelp's the bed, if you will, that actually creates a buffer between these racks of all these growing shellfish. And then what they'll do is they can extrapolate and pull them up, harvest, bloop, drop them back down, they grow. So the article said that basically one of these functioning farms, and they're already doing it, by the way, this isn't fiction, this is already happening off the coast of Washington now, but they said if they made one the size of the state of Washington, it would produce enough sea-based protein to feed the planet. Not 50 people, the planet.
Crazy.
So what's coming, this thing I always tell everybody all the time, media will sell you buka 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 and scare you to stay in your home. Give them the middle finger. Tell them I understand technology and what's coming, and be all right with it. Because at the end of the day, I think between the drive for benefit that's been driven by the younger generation of, look, you can't just do it because you did it. What's the value in doing it that way? Well, it's the way we always did it. Not acceptable.
Right.
That coupled with what technology is delivering, I don't. You can't scare me like that because I don't get scared by the world's gonna end tomorrow. All the ice caps are melting. Booga booga.
Right.
No. Because when I was 18, those were 3 a little more seasoned, right? You could pick up a Time magazine from then, and they were like booga 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 by 1990. We're all living in caves, and the world's frozen over, and you're gonna die, and oil's gonna be all you can eat, and then this could disappear, and there'll be nothing. And no. But it doesn't sell magazines, doesn't sell what they want to sell, right?
Right.
You know.
Right.
So yeah. But anyway, yeah. The vertical farming,
Yeah, I thought that was amazing.
it's pretty awesome.
You know, it's
yeah.
going to put think about what they do to cows and stuff. It'll put them out of business, hopefully.
Go with that, and then the other one was New Jersey, and I don't know if you've seen this because you're in the food space, and maybe something you could even encourage with your business going out into Detroit. They're doing actual vertical farm, so they're growing kelp and all these, or not kelp, but lettuces and vegetables
Right.
and whatever, and it's all in these old warehouses.
Right.
So look like an old warehouse, you go in, no bugs, no pesticide, no nothing, clean grown vegetables, just
Isn't there a big one in Detroit?
I know there's a couple of really great urban farms in Detroit. I don't know specifically which one.
But aren't those dirt version though, or?
I was thinking it was vertical.
Is it?
The way they
Awesome.
were talking about it. Yeah,
Do you remember the name?
Jeanette Pierce, who's with the Detroit Experience Factory. She's a native Detroit who started this. It's a nonprofit actually, but it gives inside tours of Detroit from a Detroiter's perspective, and she knows all about like the latest,
Yeah.
greatest, who's doing what, and I swear she had mentioned something about exactly that. And
Oh, I gotta believe it's
awesome.
happening. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there's
it's
still
awesome.
there's still something that's necessary that she's providing, because I have had kale in my refrigerator and it always goes bad. I don't think I've ever eaten kale, even
Come
when I
on.
get fresh kale,
Kale's
because I
good.
have no idea. Yeah, but what do you just eat out of a bag?
No,
Well,
you
that's
make a
horrible.
salad.
You
no,
chew
and
on
I
it, and it's It's almost like a dental floss.
Right, it's like dental floss, right? So I need somebody I need a subscription plan where it can be like, okay, here's all this stuff. Now let me show you how to.
How do you cook
Well,
it?
it's kind of like, you can think of it as a contractor for food, right?
Sure, that's exactly
Right,
You
just
right.
say,
just gotta suck it up and know that it's good for you.
It
know?
doesn't work.
No,
though.
you don't
I
have
end
to
up-
do that.
I end up thinking about the
Kale's
kale
good.
at home and driving through McDonald's.
And you put the leftovers back next to the kale in the fridge.
Yeah, and then you open it again. It's like, well, I'm gonna grab the leftovers.
right.
So Natalia, help me understand in the plan and the fact that you choose what's right for you based on your ingredients. How do you guide me to a meal if you don't know what my ingredients are? Are there like basic things, that if you pick one thing from this column and one thing from this column and one thing from this column, you'll have a meal at the end of it? Or how does it work?
So my philosophy with this is you cook with one thing that you know and one thing that you don't. So you pair two different, let's say we'll start with vegetables. Let's say you really like peppers, so we're gonna make a stir fry or something with peppers, and then you've never really cooked with kale. So kale will be the second ingredient. And so based on how these foods cook, we know that like kale sometimes takes a little bit longer and peppers don't take as long. So you put the kale in first, put the peppers in second, and then you work with whatever seasoning you have, and then that's a dish. That's it.
So
So
if you don't like it,
and if you don't like it,
There's
well,
always
no more
rabbits.
kale on your
Right.
If you don't like it, you eat the peppers out of it.
That's what I do right now.
there's a really special ingredient that just magically
Sugar.
No, when you make food, there's that special ingredient of like you made it yourself, so you have that pride of like, wow, I made this, and
True.
it tastes better to me than if I bought it. Like there's something about it, even when I make really crappy food, like I would be pissed if I paid for this, but I made it, and yeah, it's not that bad. It tastes good. I'll eat
I
it.
put my effort in, therefore I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna love it. That's right. I'm gonna suffer twice.
I mean, if you're throwing up and like you physically can't eat it, like don't eat it. But
Draw the line at vomiting.
You really got
But
to.
otherwise, you
if
suck
you
it
get
up
the
and eat
gag
it.
reflex, it's okay to walk away.
Meanwhile, the dog's like, score ninth
Right.
night in a row. This is awesome.
Yeah, until they found out you made it with kale, then you and the dog.
Yeah, they-
It's like,
Oh my god, do I have a story? Alright, so a friend of mine, she's like, whatever at baking, and she decides to bake one day, she brings some stuff over, she's gonna bring cornbread. You know your baking's bad when a dog won't eat a bread item. The dog would not eat the cornbread. No dog. Both dogs looked at me, I'm like, come on, no. I poured some meat, like gravy on it, or
Oh,
grease
boy.
on it. Dog's like, not happening.
Wow.
Wouldn't eat the cornbread. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rough. But that can happen,
Yeah.
right? That can
Yeah.
happen. Yeah, that can
So the
happen.
cooking that you're doing, is it mostly stovetop or are you baking as well?
mostly stovetop and and
So cup stuffing?
There's also going to be a series for microwave cooking because microwave
Oh,
is super
smart,
easy
yeah.
to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like hot pot, right? If you're
Mhm.
in the dorms or
Yeah.
something like that.
Right, yeah, the little
Hot plate.
hot plate
Yeah.
things.
Hot plate, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
I don't know if dorms really allow those. 'Cause they're
Anymore?
I think people can really
Allow
have
or
some
is
microwave.
it?
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
Didn't allow mini fridges either, but everybody had a really tall nightstand.
Right.
Yeah, one did,
It's very true.
Yeah.
Or your closet was conveniently converted to something you couldn't go into when
That's
security came in. You know, like, it's my clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a true story.
Yeah.
Well, all right, right on. One of the things too was they talked about how the whole trend in food is changing, and some of the stuff what you're doing, and what's happening is, and I think that's really part of my generation led this change, and maybe you're going to be the counterculture to that, is how much of the dollar is spent of somebody's home out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as everyone learns how to cook at home, you're going to become like public enemy number one to all these restaurants, right? It's like, her plan, curse her, and her
Right.
cooking at home, and what is this? Yeah, because they talk about the whole trend. There's like 100 hottest restaurants, and all these people eating out all the time. They spend, compared to like our parents only spent, like, big deal, go out once a week.
Yeah.
Gen Xers are 3 to 4, and the average millennial is 5 to 7.
Oh, really?
Like every night of the week they go out. I'm like, oh my god.
That's crazy. Where's the money
Where's-
coming from?
Yeah.
What?
Dad.
Well,
I'm
it's-
still living.
Or the
Millennials, defend yourselves.
Wow.
She dropped it right there. She's like, boom.
Or the McDonald's $2.
Exactly right. It's like Taco Bell, right? They didn't say where they spent it. You know, they're eating whatever,
Yeah.
White Castles or some other crazy junk, right?
Right.
So yeah, they didn't say where in the study. It just said that millennials are 5 to 7 days, Xers are 3 to 4, and then boomers were like they're like 1 to 3 or something. But before that, once a week was a big deal. Saturday night we're getting gussied up. Me and Sally's gonna go have a big dinner.
Right.
And every day it's boiled chicken.
Yeah, but
And then it's Saturday, you know.
I also think that there's something to be said for learning how to prepare a good meal.
Amen.
And you're an
Yeah.
amazing cook, so you know this,
Right.
right? That so my wife and I actually prefer to stay at home and eat. If we have a Saturday night where we can have a date night, we'll actually like put the kids somewhere
In
else in the
coma?
house a little early.
Bourbon for you,
And-
bourbon for you. Well, I don't wanna.
But then we'll build
Right,
a fire in
sure,
the fireplace
sure.
and have like we'll make a meal together and
Sure.
prepare that meal together, and that's way better as a romantic evening for us than going and eating at a restaurant because we enjoy it more. And I really think there's something very
Communal,
critical
right?
to what
It's
you've
communal.
said about the power of creating that meal yourself and making it yourself. And I totally agree. Even stuff that I'm not the biggest fan, we've made it, we've put the time and energy and effort into it. Perhaps a little dose of stubbornness doesn't hurt.
And
but
money
it's
that you
like,
spent
you know
yourself
what?
to
We're
make
going
it.
to go ahead and
That's
eat
true.
this, even if it's not our favorite.
Right.
And so, I mean, I agree. I think if you teach people the art of preparing those meals, especially if it becomes something a bit more effortless, then they'll gravitate towards
Sure.
staying at home. It's
Right.
more affordable. It's nicer, and the food actually.
Well, you
tastes
control
better.
the quality, right? You know what
Yeah.
you're eating, right?
Exactly.
I picked it, chose it, made it. I know what's coming. No pink slime. I'm good.
Yeah.
We're rolling with something
Right.
actually mooed and clucked, and not the combined of everything
Right.
else that mooed
Right.
and clucked.
And you know that's tough to learn, right? Like in defense of millennials, right?
Are you
My
feeling
people.
like it's time?
Parents
I
clearly
get-
didn't
it's a
teach
lost art
us,
almost,
right? We
like-
were taught, but yeah.
Eating at home, having the family meal
That's
at
right.
home, you know.
Well, and you know, when you first start being responsible for your own food, it's at these college dorms, right? Where, like you said, you can't have.
Hot pockets.
You know, Kalamazoo College is really great about having the kitchens and the availability, but that's exactly right. That's when you start whole like peanut butter sandwiches all the time. Campbell's
Ramen.
Mac and cheese,
Ramen
baby.
Ramen and
cheese and all
sriracha
this
became
stuff
your
because you're not
like
gonna
mainstay.
cook,
You're
right?
laughing, see, right?
Right.
Oh,
and so
that's
now there's
awesome.
more, you know, like I'm sure that these colleges now are doing a better job sort of teaching people how to cook, but it's not like
Mm.
there
I
was
don't know
ever.
about that. I don't think
I don't know about how to cook, but I think that there's definitely a push in the college food service industry to have more fresh or healthy options. Like I know at Michigan State, Brody, their dining center,
Mhm.
people from the community go eat at Brody. Like
Yeah.
business people and families go eat at Brody because it's
That's
that
awesome.
good. And they have all these different stations, and a lot of it's healthy and it's fresh, and
Mhm.
I think that's just the push. I was going to ask the question. My kids are obsessed with the TV show Chopped,
Right.
right? Where they have the,
It's a great
they have
show.
the baskets.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a wild card. Pull up a
So,
basket of, oh,
yeah,
what the hell do I do?
Growing up, like we had dinner together every night, but I wouldn't say that my mom was a cook. You know, like she had certain staple meals that she made, and I still use those same recipes. But in terms of like, hey, what's in the cupboard? Let's throw a dash of this and a pinch of that. That did not happen in my house. So, but you watch, and so I grew up thinking you needed to have a recipe for everything, like either scared that you're going to screw it up, or just you just don't even know where to start with
Right.
ingredients. You don't even know what flavors go together, and then
That's
My
the Betty
kids-
Crocker cookbook on
It
top of the
is.
fridge that
all the
Dust it off
recipes,
and-
you know, or the recipe magazines. Well, you start watching a show like Chopped, and they open these baskets, and you're like, "What the hell?" And it doesn't
Yeah.
take long watching it. Before they open the baskets, I'm like, "Ooh, she's making a bread pudding."
That's
what
right.
it is. I know what she's doing with dessert.
Right.
You know,
That's
like
right.
you start to understand which flavors go together.
That's correct.
And
That's
I think maybe
correct.
it's a little less scary to then go to your own kitchen. Now, again, it's been
Yeah.
dealer's choice in my house for the last week.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
you know, my kids are so into it. So I wonder if they will have more interest in cooking than
Sure.
what I did, because there aren't as many rules.
Sure.
It doesn't seem
well,
like.
they have that as a resource,
Yeah.
right? It's a great
You
resource.
still got to start.
Yay,
with having,
technology.
Yeah, you still got to start with having stuff in the kitchen, though, right? Because
Well,
if you went to
that's
try
right.
and
I know you guys
James
aren't gonna
is an
reach
awesome
for it,
cook,
so.
but if he was trying to cook based
Thank
on
you,
what's
sir.
in my house,
Well, let's see, we'd have kale.
rice, yeah,
That's a
stale
questionable
kale.
freshness.
Let's figure this
Jody?
out.
I'm really not going to embarrass my wife and I by talking about what we do. in the kitchen. But you know, it is. I do think part of that is, you know, like your mom was cooking. Like my wife and I, neither one of us is. She said her mom was, you know, they come up with dinner, right? And now my wife and I both work, right? She's out late, I'm out late. We don't get home till 9:30, 10, right? So we got to come home and cook something, or we could just stop at the drive-thru. So we stop at the drive-thru. So it's just a totally different, like, you know, I wish that I could just be a stay-at-home dad to our dogs.
You know,
and
But
cook
I think
food all day,
that kicks back
right?
to what she's
But it
saying,
doesn't
right?
quite, yeah.
You build a pantry, right? You
That's
go to my
exactly-
house.
That's right.
But
You go to my house and
like,
there's.
I need to know.
Well, I agree with that.
You need to hire Natalia
That's exactly right.
and her new consulting
There you go.
business
That's it.
That's
to
right.
come to
There
your
you go.
home and get
Seriously.
you set up, like
Teach you to
Right.
build a
teach you the
pantry.
basics, and then
Absolutely.
you could.
Right.
But
Well,
you know,
that's
you
just
could
part of
roll.
the thing too. Is you actually provide people with that 30 days worth of food, right? And you give them the pantry, if you will. Like you give them the baskets and show them what to do with it, and
Exactly.
then that's how they learn.
And that's the challenge, right?
Well, I wouldn't even argue. Like, I bet you probably have like a checklist, right? Like all the things are standard for a pantry, like things you should have, right?
Perfect.
So you could even go as far as you know, if I'm like to spitball this, right? Go as far as to go onto Amazon, set up an account, take your clients through Amazon, say, okay, we're going to pre-order your pantry list. It's going to get delivered to you. You'll get a commission because you've pre-sold that pantry, right? They get no hassle, no headache.
Yeah.
Pantry comes in a box.
Absolutely.
Here's all my spices. I'm going to do basic stuff because I like Italian, so I'm going to have basil and all these other things. Or I like Mexican, so I have cumin and all these things, whatever, right? Here's my basic building pantry, right? And I don't know if you break it up by cuisine styles or not, but right, here's my basic building pantry in a box. And then what you can eventually do is maybe even brand that, right? It's like, sign up, be a member. Oh, Italian's your favorite? Great. I'm going to send you the basic builder's kit for X amount. It's going to show up at your house. This is your starter kit. Here's how you use the starter kit,
Yeah.
right?
Do you address like where the food comes from too, and what in your like challenges? You know, like I mean, getting the raw, you know, chicken organically raised or free range chicken versus, you know, the stuff that can't stand on its own two legs before it dies.
So she's medical school. I'm interested to hear this because you're going to come
Chicken
from
stein.
a different
Mm-hmm.
perspective, I think.
Yeah, I think definitely I'm all for local eating humanely raised, like local food. I think that is better for you because you're eating better quality ingredients. Just like why you're buying better quality bourbon, you're not
That's it.
getting
Preach.
the
Traverse City Whiskey
crappiest
Company.
knockoff Canada. Like there's something to say about the quality of the things that you use.
That's correct.
And I definitely believe that if you use quality ingredients, you're going to have a better quality of life personally because you're putting better quality things into your body.
Are you more of a vegetarian kind of a style, or
I'm a flexitarian. I just
Flexitarian.
read that term.
Flexitarian?
today, actually. Yeah.
That's a new phrase. Talk to me. What is that?
You're
it means
flexible.
Here's how it's, here's
they'll
the
eat it when they
definition.
want to.
It was a vegetarian who likes a hot dog once in a while. That's what it was. I mean, a hot dog's probably a very extreme. If you're gonna eat meat, it probably wouldn't be a hot dog, but like bacon, yes.
But doesn't that speak to like the public pressure BS, right? So at the end of the day, look, like you say, just eat what you like. It's good. Stop being booga booga booga. You gotta eat a bowl of kale, otherwise you suck. Yeah, screw you, dude. You're unhappy, obviously.
Right.
Because if I bust
You're
out
eating kale.
a real hot dog and you got your tofu dog and you're like, well, I'm going to call this a hot dog. No, you're not. You're eating soybeans.
Right.
And here, watch. See this little piggy ground up? He's tasty. That's soybeans. You know you want the piggy. Right? So I get it. Yeah, you know, that same kind of stuff. But
But I think it's
I want to
really-
go to the scallops and the shellfish, or I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think it's more humane or something.
Yeah. But
But
by saying you're a flexitarian too, I think it's a little different because you're not just saying I don't care about what I eat. You're saying there's a problem with the way we process meat in this country.
oh, I
It's
agree
not
with that.
good, but I'm not going to be somebody who can promise to be 100% vegetarian, right? So it's different than saying, oh yeah, I'm not a vegetarian, right? You're saying, you
Yeah,
know,
and I feel like those rules apply to everything in our lives. Like we're not ever 1000% one thing or
Yeah.
another. Like these, I don't know. I feel like the way we eat is a reflection of how we live our lives, and I'm not saying that to like judge people and shame them into like, oh, you should
are,
eat
it's okay.
like organic.
well, I don't know. But how do you
All
feed
the
the
time.
masses? There's so many people compared to what there were before on the planet. How do you feed everybody like the nice, neat way, like you're describing, free range chickens or whatever.
Yeah.
Clean eating.
Solve world
I mean,
hunger.
can
I
we?
think
We just asked you, right?
So what you were
Solve
saying
world hunger.
earlier about technology
Right. That's
and
correct.
just the way we're living differently now, I think growing food in your own homes is going to be a lot more popular.
Correct.
Now. Like all these new
I agree with
technologies
that.
that are available. There's in-home
Yep.
hydroponic systems.
Yep.
You can buy a tank with a fish and some tubes, and like you have lettuce growing. Like these are real products that are being developed right now for consumers,
Correct.
and I feel like that's going to make fresh food a lot more accessible.
You
You
think
mean
the
a
tower?
fish in a tank and you have lettuce?
Well,
Yeah, so that's how the
That's
system works. So the fish grows,
That's awesome.
lives in the bottom. The waste and the nutrients it gives off is the waste it gives off are nutrients for the plants, and there's a tubing system that feeds the plants, and it's a symbiotic system, and you can have that in your home, and it grows fresh food.
Wow.
Well, and that's it. They have, and even if you don't go
Wow.
that far, you can go with the whole tower gardens that are available today, and you can get those. They're
Yeah.
vertically grown. You just add a couple drops of some mineral water, and you could have any vine-grown vegetable you want. I mean, as long as they're growing a tree, it's in
and
your
the
house.
and the benefits of hydroponics and aeroponic systems are that you can deliver nutrients to these plants
Yep.
at just a more efficient scale, so
Right.
the plants grow a lot faster than they would in soil.
Correct.
Right.
So that's another added benefit.
Yeah.
And that's the whole premise behind the vertical farms, right? I mean, that's
Right.
what they do.
Mhm.
They're all hydroponic systems or
Mhm.
aeroponics as well. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yeah.
think it's really cool because I think that cooking, having a vertical garden like that sounds great, but I'll tell you right now I'm not going to do it.
You're going
right?
for the
I don't have the
drive-thru.
time. I'm going to go to the drive-thru.
Banana, there you go.
That's why I really like
She's got that.
Amazon, right? And that's really cool because it's like now I don't have to go to the grocery store. Like we would go to Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's. The closest one's in Ann Arbor. And then you
Nobody
just start getting out
closer.
of the habit. Well, it's still like 25,
Yeah, well, yeah,
30
30
minutes,
minutes, yeah,
right?
yeah,
you get
yeah.
out of the habit of
Yeah,
doing that, and then it's gone. And when we were in Chicago, right? It's a pain in the butt to get any groceries anywhere. So people are already having it delivered.
Right.
And you don't have space in your apartment necessarily for a fish tank. So
Right.
what she's doing is saying, yeah, I understand, or potentially could say is, yeah, I understand that people live crazy lifestyles and some people don't enjoy food, right? It's just, like John was saying earlier, it's just something that I need because otherwise I'm going to die. And now it's like, okay, here, you can start enjoying it more, but we're also going to make it less work for you
Mhm.
to do it, which I
Well,
think is
it's like those companies,
cool.
Blue Apron and all those others, right? They're doing home delivered boxed
Right.
whole dinners now, right?
Sure.
In a big,
Well,
like,
sure.
but the choices are getting better. Like Burger King is really dying. I mean, I don't
it's
know.
dead men walking.
Right, it's dead man
Yeah.
walking. You don't see a car in their parking lot
No.
because it's just not there's so many other choices that are actually better for you and taste better. What is it, the Chinese joint that right here, that
Panda Express.
Panda Express, we really, we enjoy that. It's good. You can get some really good quality food there. That's good for you. So,
The Pacific Shrimp, it is fantastic.
and veggies, and you're really
It's
on
true.
board.
Yep.
And I like what you're saying about habits because that's what I'm trying to help people create with this challenge. Because since it's a challenge, you have to do it every day. And
Right.
once you start making cooking food a part of your daily habits, it doesn't really become a thing you think about. It's like, oh, I'm going
Right.
home and I have something in the fridge. I'll put it together and then I'm eating. Like you don't think
That's
about,
correct.
ugh, what am I gonna eat? What
Right.
are the then it also eliminates the choices of like, oh, where am I gonna eat?
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm stuck in a parking lot, like, okay, well, there's 5 places, and then I walk in, and there's like 20 things in the menu, and then half an hour later, I finally decide,
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
just eliminating all that wasted time.
Yeah. And that's a cool thing too. People love these challenges on social media, right? Where they post on Facebook about what they did, or
Right, right.
there's people that I am Facebook friends with that post whenever they do a run, right? And nobody cares about it, but they just like it. You put it out there and you hold yourself to it.
I
It's,
unfollow
you. You're, well, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Nobody
There's
cares.
accountability, whether anybody holds you accountable or not, right? It's
Yeah, you feel
publicly
socially
announced.
accountable because
Yeah.
you told someone you were going to do it.
Right.
Well, I eat to just because I have to when I do the fast food thing, and I'm a single dad. Well, my kids are grown. But we do this Sunday dinner. My sister does it actually. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But, the family gets together every Sunday, literally every Sunday for a great meal. And we all kind of pitch in and we have a home cooked meal and and that's the bonding again that I so miss, and which is really cool about what you're proposing or you're
Yeah.
doing. So,
Okay.
right.
And at that point,
Do one more thing. I just want to emphasize, right? This is her business plan, and she's going to go out and make money off of this, right?
Yeah.
So this is not somebody that's going out and doing charity, but it's cool
Sure.
because we all love this idea and think it's really cool. But she's like, I've got subscriptions and I've got this, and so it's a business. We didn't lose the business character of this show.
no.
Just want to
Yeah,
throw
no,
that
oh,
out
we
there.
didn't
Are you
really
feeling
like
a little
someone-
pigeonholed by your confessions about the drive-through frequency?
I got time after the show.
It was
20
like
minutes.
a guilt-based statement there.
We
my
do have a
friend.
gym right next to us.
Yes, yeah.
So our